All right, time to look at blue uncommons, rares, and mythics. I'm gonna start things off with Avalanche Caller. 2 mana, 1/3. 2 mana. Target snowlander you control becomes a 4/4 elemental with hexproof and haste. Yeah, this is like a green card. I don't know why it's blue. Yeah. Don't play this card. Even if you had 5 snowlands, you would still not play this card, I don't think. The fact that it gives hexproof is nice. I do like that. Wasn't this like a 3 mana 2/3 in the past, or a 3 mana 2/2 in the past for green? I feel like it was. Was it a red green card? It was a red green card, wasn't it? It was a 2 mana like 2/1 red green card maybe or something. In one of the Ravnica sets. Yeah, it was a green or a red green card, I forget which. Might have been both. Oh yeah, you're right. It's kind of neat. No, you're right. That is cool. I didn't think about that. I did not think about that. It was a ghoul. Yeah, it was the green red guild mage. You're right. It was a 3 mana to make a land a 4/4 trample, right? Yep. But you're right. That is a really cool thing I hadn't thought about. Is you can put the lifelink. You can pay 2 mana on turn 2 to give your land the lifelink rune, your snow land, and then you can animate it later to make a 4/4 lifelinking. Okay, yeah, you're right. That's cool. It's still a 3. You're right, that is cool. Maybe this is better than that. It is a snow creature. No, turn 4 you cannot attack with 2 4/4s. It just costs 3 mana to activate. Because you have to pay 2 and have another land, right? You're right. It's a little bit better than I think. I think you're right. I'll bump it up to a 4. Actually, I might bump it up to a 5. It's like 4. It's like 4 or 6, depending on how many, whether you need it or not. Yeah, you're right. I really hadn't considered the runes. That does help. Anti-Stone Rain. You can give your snowlands hexproof in response to a Stone Rain. It's blue because it gives hexproof. It's also blue because it gives haste. But no, haste is just like the thing they put in things that animate lands because the cough problem. It's like, I play a land, who knows which land can I play this turn? I target my land, and then it's like, oh, it has so many sicknesses I play this turn. Yeah, no feel bads. Alright. You turn me around to this. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a snow card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If it's not a snow land, if it's not a snow card, it just stays there? Garbo? I don't think so, dude. I don't think this is Garbo. Imagine you have 10 snow cards in your deck. This is going to activate a quarter of the time. That's pretty bad. I think if you have at least 12 snow cards, I think this card's good. But I don't know how you're going to get 12 snow cards in your limited deck. In your sealed deck. I don't know how it's going to happen. But, alright. Frostfire Arcanist. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a giant or a wizard. If you have both a giant or a wizard, it still only costs 1 less. 4 mana 2/5. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for an instant or sorcery card with the same name as a card in your graveyard. No. No. Well, here's the thing, though. Armored Cancrix. Hey. Armored Cancrix. 4 and a blue. 2/5. No text. That card was good. It was a solid 6. I'm just saying. Yeah, Wishcoin Crab. Wishcoin Crab at 4 mana 2/5 is a solid 6. Wishcoin Crab was literally 3 and a blue, 2/5, no text. I'm gonna put this as a 5. I played a ton of Wishcoin Crabs. I'll put this as a 5. You don't main deck it. Well, when I talked about Armored Cancrix was in like core set 10th edition or some crap when the power level of the set was really low. It was a solid 6. Obviously, there are. Yeah, I mean, we can always come back and reevaluate this to be maybe a 6. But Giant's Amulet. Enters the battlefield. You may pay 3 and a blue. If you do, create a 4/4 giant wizard token. So it's a 5 mana 4/5 hexproof, but better. No. This creature has hexproof as long as it's untapped. Okay. It's a 5 mana 4/5. Quasi semi hexproof. But here's the thing. Benthic Giant was like a solid 6, right? And Benthic Giant was 5 and a blue 4/5? Was a 4/5 hexproof? Right? Benthic Giant? Yeah. 5 and a blue 4/5 hexproof. No, this is a solid. I think this is a solid 7. It's not better. It's not better than the Bergstrider, right? Or maybe we underrate Bergstrider. Maybe Bergstrider should be an 8. Bergstrider was a 5 mana 4/4 that tapped a thing and did it on tap if you played snow mana for it. Glimpse the Cosmos. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and wait. What? Wait. Is the strategic planning in this set? We just looked at it. Okay, put one of them into your hand and the rest into the bottom of your order in any order. As long as you control a giant, you may cast from your graveyard. It has flashback blue. Okay, this is a solid 7 or 8, right? Yeah, how is this? This is a solid. This is probably an 8. This is like Scry's 6. Draw 2 for 3. Right? Is it a 9? Yeah, sorry. Scroll down, my bad. You would give it. You would need 3 or 4 giants to make this card good. Because you play it on turn 2, and then later in the game you just play a giant and this on the same turn. Right? You only need like 3 giants in your deck. You're gonna have 3 giants. Yeah. I'm on board. Yeah, this is like a solid 8. Yeah, and there's changelings too. Yeah, I would almost give this a 9. I think you're right. Because Behold the Multiverse was a 9. This is on par or better than Behold the Multiverse. As long as you have at least 3 giants in your deck. Yeah, I think this is a 9. Even if you have 1 giant, you play this card. Absolutely. Not even joking. As long as you have at least 1 giant, you play this card. Yeah. Imagine if you had Glimpse the Cosmos ×2 and Frostpire Arcanist. Oh my goodness. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. Let's not do that. These are all uncommons. The odds of you opening all these uncommons are pretty unlikely. Yeah, that's MCL. Icespine Pillar. Tap target artifact or creature. No way. No way. Yeah, where's my hand with the orb? To be clear, I think if you had 2 snowlands, you would not play this. If you had 3 snowlands, you would not do it. If you had 4 snowlands, you would not do it. If you had 5, I think is what you have. If you have 5 snowlands, play it. This is a type of card where you would play an off-color snowland to support it. And this is a splashable card. Absolutely, this is a splashable card. Because it is not blue to activate, it's snow to activate. All right. Yeah, I agree it's either a 1 or a 10. Let's just make it I think it's like a 9. I think it's a 9. 9.5. It's not a 10. It's not a 10. You know what card I'm talking about when I say it's a 10. You know what 10s are. It's close, but it's a solid 9. Inga Runais. Enters the battlefield, scry 3. When it dies, draw 3 cards. If 3 or more creatures died this turn. Alright. So, here's what happens. You play this card. Your opponent has a 3/3 and a 2/2. Or like they have like a 3/3 and a 4/4. Right? And they attack and you block the 3/3. So if you can kill their 4/4, you draw 3 cards, right? Good with Doomscar? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's anyone's creatures. If they attack with 2 creatures, and if you both have 2 creatures, your opponent can't even attack you. Because you can actually just chump with your 2/2, put your 3/3 on their 3/3, and you draw 3 cards. Yeah, you can also just chump block with 3 creatures and draw 3 cards. And it's ETB Scry 3. Yeah, it's 3 total. No, I think this isn't as good as Phantom Monster. It's close. I guess it's about this. No, it's close. It's between 7 and 8, right? It's either 7 or 8. Yeah, I think it's a 7. 7 is the type of card like you always play it, right? If you're blue, you always play it. And this may be like an octopus, right? What was the name of that octopus? There was an octopus that was 4 mana 3/3 like Scry 2, right? And that card was a solid like 5. That's right. That card was a solid 5. Octo Prophet? Yeah. That was a solid 5. But this has the mere threat of activation is its power, right? Because just the idea that it might activate might discourage your opponent from attacking you, or it may have bad blocks, or... So even though the amount of cards this thing draws is going to be pretty low, the idea that I could draw cards is... And Scry 3 is way better than Scry 2. You'll get no arguments from me there. It's a lot more than 1. It's a lot better than 1. Does bouncing a token kill it? No. Killing a token does count, but not bouncing one. Something to keep in mind for those of you at home who maybe don't know this. Imagine you have a 6/6. Your opponent has an Inga Rune Eyes and another 3/3. And you attack, and they double block. You can choose to not assign damage to the Inga Rune Eyes, so they don't draw 3 cards. You can just put all 6 damage on the first 3/3 and assign 0 to Inga Rune Eyes. The default for MTG Arena and the default for Magic Online will assign 3 to both, but you can choose to not deal damage to this card when it double blocks. It'll probably come up more often with a 4/4, right? Like, you attack with a 4/4 and they have like a 3/3 and a 1/1. They had this thing and a 1/1, they double block. You don't have to kill it. Yeah. And you might have to have full control on Arena if you actually want that option. I think you might be right. But I think perhaps a lot of power level of this card is maybe people not knowing that. Because if people don't know that, this card gets a lot better. If every time you double block with this card, you get to draw 3 cards, this card is bananas. Right? This is like an 8 or a 9. If every time you double block, you drew 3 cards. No, Arc Nation, I think you're really undervaluing the power of double blocking. I think you're really undervaluing it. Because a simple double block is going to draw 3 cards. No, I think this is a solid 7. Between 7.5. We'll make it a 7.5. It's close to an 8. You're right, I'm just gonna make it an 8. I think you're right. I think it's an 8. I think it's just a moat. I think you're totally right. I think it's just a moat. Oh, dude, look at the flavor text. Look at this flavor text. Every path ever charted by an Omen Seeker is etched into her eyes. Look at that. Omen Seeker was a card that was very controversial in our stream. It was a 2 mana 1/3 ETB Scry 2. I said it was wildly unplayable. I stand by that. I stand by that Omen Seeker is a wildly unplayable Magic card. And by wildly unplayable, it's a solid 5. Which means it shouldn't be main deck. Which means it's wildly unplayable. That's how it works. But this is so much better. This is so much better than Omen Seeker. This is an 8. Alright. This is an 8. I'm calling it. It's an 8. Rune of Flight. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. As long as enchanted creature is a permanent, or as long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it has flying. Okay, so it's flying. It's not Cartouche. Cartouche is like a solid 8.5 or a 9. Cartouche of Knowledge. Hyperbole is the only thing that keeps me alive. Good one. This is not Cartouche. Cartouche of Knowledge, which was 1 in a blue, +1/+1 in flying, draw card. This is not that. Angelic Gift. This is better than Angelic Gift by quite a lot. Right? Angelic Gift is 1 in a white, enchant creature. It has flying, draw a card. I don't remember. Does Angelic Gift make them an angel? I don't even remember. Doesn't make them. And maybe there's a different card that makes them an angel. But it's Angelic Gift, but strictly better Angelic Gift in blue. Angelic Gift was like a solid 6. So I think this is a solid 6. It's a card that's not embarrassing to main deck. If you don't play it, it's fine. If you do play it, that's fine. It gets worse the better your deck is. But I do like... Yeah, the fact that you can just cycle it on turn 2 is massive to me. It makes these cards so much better that you can cycle them on turn 2. If it didn't cycle on turn 2, you would not main deck this card. This is a solid 5. 4 or 5. If you couldn't play it on turn 2 to cycle. So I'm gonna give it a 6. Saw it coming. Counter target spell, foretell. Okay. I mean... Alright. I mean... This is... I mean, cancel was a solid 7. This is way better than cancel. Right? This is way better than cancel. You play it. This is not better than Mana Leak. If you're playing blue, you're playing... This is, I guess, is more of an 8. No, it's on the same level as all the other 9s. Right? I mean, I guess it's not as good as Icy Manipulator. Pillar, it's not as good as this. So I guess it's an 8. Terminates you can't really make better than 8s. So, you're right. You can't make Terminates better than 8s. You're right. I mean, you splashed Disdainful Stroke, right? I splashed Disdainful Stroke before in Sealed. So... Yeah, and the fact that you can actually splash for this because you can just foretell it on turn 2 and then like get your blue mana by turn 6 and have it up, right? So, yeah, I like it. It's like a Disdainful Stroke. Oh boy. Poop. This is a trap. Right. I mean, this is just a trap. 1 blue, 1/1. You can pay Snow to make it a 2/3. You can pay Snow after that to make it a 4/4. And you can make Snow to make it a 6/6. Ophidian. You're not... Yeah, this is a constructed card. I mean, you're not going to have Snowlands. Because again, you're only going to open like 6 lands, right? So 6 to 8 lands. I'm not quite sure. But the odds are it's going to be a 2/3 at best. All right, on turn 5 or turn 6, it's going to be a 2/3. It's just, you're not going to make it. This is just not going to happen. Yeah, it becomes a 4/4 flyer on the second one, right? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, if you can just, it has like, not fire breathing, but you can keep on paying for a Snow to make it a +2/+2 counters, with their counters, and draw 2 cards instead of 1, right? Yeah. But that's just whatever. I think it's a solid 4. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile Cosima. If you do, it gains whenever a land enters a battlefield under your control. If Cosima is exiled, you may put a voyage counter on it. If you don't... What? Okay. And if you don't, return Cosima to the battlefield with X +1 counters on it and draw X cards, or X is the number of voyage counters on it. Okay. So let's go through what's going to happen. You play this on turn 3. On your upkeep, you exile it, if you choose to. Say you choose to. And then you play a land, and you put a voyage counter on it. And then next turn, you play another land, and you put it into play. And it's a 3/5 that you draw 1 card. The voyage counters do leave. Because when you exile it, it loses all its counters, right? You can't just like keep on flickering it to draw more and more cards. I think changing zones eats all the counters. You could also play this on turn 3, exile it, play 2 lands, and then on turn 6, it's a 4/6 draw 2, right? Now, this gets astronomically better if Evolving Wilds is in the set, which I don't know if it is. But if it is, there's no fetches? Okay, there's no Evolving Wilds? Okay. So I think that is probably going to be the most common scenario. It's a 3-minute 2/4, you chill, and then when the board is gummed up, you exile it, you play 2 lands, and then you play a third, and it's a 4/6 draw 2, right? That seems to be pretty clearly what it is. Yeah, I'm saying you play it, your third land plays this, on your upkeep you exile it, 4th land counter, 5th land counter, 6th land brings it into play. And you draw 2 and it's a 4/6. Yeah, I mean, 3 mana 2/4 is a card you would play. This is a solid 7 or 8. Absolutely. Like 3 mana 2/4 no text is like, oh, yes, thank you. Solid. It's a solid 2/4 for 3. The question is it better? Is it better than this? Is it better than Inga? I don't know. You think it's better than Inga? I'm not so sure on that. If you don't play this if you don't play it on turn 3, I'm not. Oh, well, let's look at the backside. Whenever a vehicle you control deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles that many cards from the top of their library. Okay, so this is a 3/3 vehicle, so if it hits my opponent, they exile the top 3 cards of their deck. Is that correct? And you may play lands from among the cards for as long as it remain exiled. Okay, so there is very real deck damage, right? There's a lot of deck damage going on here. And yeah, I think it's totally possible to get 2 lands off this. And let's also not forget, there's a good chance you get snow lands off this, right? There's a good chance this will actually support your snow habit that you have. I think this is a 9. Just from looking at the other side, I think this is a pretty solid 9. The fact that that has the option to do either deck damage, that's a lot of deck damage. Yeah, it's also a vehicle lord, right? Can it exile into the vehicle from the dude? No. You could if they were opposite, but no. This is a solid 9. Yeah, the worst part is like which way do I? This is a flip card that's like, oh man, which one do I play? It's a pretty bad top deck late. No, it's not. You play the front side and start drawing cards. Ah. All right, Cosmos Charger, Flash flying. Really? 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 So blue gets a common flying foretell 3/3 flyer. It also gets Cosmos Charger. What? Haven't they printed Djinn of 3 Wishes and Air Elemental in the same set before? I feel like they have. Yeah, this is a 9. The thing is, this is way better than. I think this might be way better than this. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll just lose this and it's fine. I'll lose the 3/3 flash part of this card. This reminds me of the 5 mana 4/5 flash rare. That made your like 6 or greater cards have like cost 1 less, right? It reminds me a lot of that. I'm just gonna lose to it. Yeah, Thrix. I'm just gonna lose to this. It's fine. No, it's not a 10. No, this is nowhere close to a 10. It's a solid between 8.5 and 9. Yeah, we know what a 10 is. It also has foretell because why not? Nay, not a 10. That is correct. Nay. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, return all permanents to their owner's hand except for giants, wizards, and lands. Okay. Does it reduce for both halves of foretelling? No. It says specifically foretelling cards. Like putting it into the morph spell area. Costs 1 less. It has to be from your hand. Yeah. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, return all permanents to their owner's hand except for giants, wizards, and lands. Is this a 9? Because, you know, it's not even a conditional, right? Like, if you have 7 mana, it's a Cyclonic Rift, right? Cyclonic Rift was almost a 10. Or River's Rebuke was a 10. Right? River's Rebuke was 4 blue, bounce all permanents, target player control, all non-lands, target player controls, right? That was a 10. That was a 10 out of 10. Is this symmetrical? I mean, semi-symmetrical, right? Yeah, I guess this is a solid 8. Although this is a pretty solid 8. You're right. This has actually been printed in the past, right? This was well, not the Giants or Wizards part, but there was like some sort of like Kedrick Leviathan, right? It had dredge or not dredge, whatever the rebuy mechanic was. Unearth. Kedrick Leviathan? Yeah. I actually played that at Worlds. So it was like a 7-mana 5/5 with Unearth 8, right? Yeah. I played that one before, and that card is good. It doesn't kill enchantment decks, right? Because they get the enchantments back in their hand. But the cool thing about, you're right, that what it does do is it bounces all the pacifisms off your creatures and lets you attack that turn when they have no blockers, right? Like if the enemy is not blue, this is like a 9 or a 10, right? The problem is that if your opponent's blue, it's kind of like, okay, well, they're gonna have giants or wizards in their hand, right? And it doesn't bounce changelings, who cares, right? Yeah, it's a game-ending 8. You're right. Oh, is red all giants too? Okay, then that's an 8. Then it's an 8. If it's just against white, green, and black, I think it's probably an 8 then. Graven Lore, snow instant. Scry X, where X is the amount of snow spent to cast this spell. Then draw 3 cards. All right, so this is gonna cost 5, and so on our handy dandy chart on the left, it shows that between 1 and 3, right? 1 and 3 because it cost 5. To be clear, 5-mana draw 3 is a good card. It's a solid 8. This is gonna scry 1, maybe 2. Still a solid 8. It's much worse than the Foretell version. It's much worse than the Foretell card. Much worse. It's either a 7 or an 8. The Behold the Multiverse, it is much worse than that. Icebreaker Kraken costs 1 less for each snowland you control. Okay. You're probably going to have 3 snowlands. So it's going to cost 9. Enters the battlefield. Artifacts and creatures target player controls don't untap. It doesn't tap them. Wait. Alright. Artifacts and creatures target opponent controls don't untap. It doesn't tap them. Return 3 snowlands you control to their owner's hand. No. Mystic Reflection. Choose target non-legendary creature. The next time one or more creatures or planeswalkers enter the battlefield this turn, the enters... This is like a 9, right? What is this? What is this? This is like a 9, right? Alright, look at it this way. Look at it this way. Look at it this way. Your opponent plays a 4/4, and you play Mystic Reflection on like a 1/1 or a 2/2, right? And the 4/4 turns into a 2/2, like whatever. Right? That's the bad part. That's the worst case scenario. The next time one or more creatures you control wait, it hits planeswalkers. Okay, so it hits planeswalker. Oh wait, no, this is not a 9. Wait a minute. Okay, it doesn't hit all of them. My bad. I misread it. It says the next time. Not for the rest of the turn, it's the next time. Okay, my bad. I thought it was until end of turn. Okay, that's not what it does. I was thinking that your opponent has like a 5/5, and you pay 1 mana on Foretell, and you play 2 creatures, and you get a pair of 5/5s, right? That's what I thought this was. That's not what this is. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was until end of turn, that's not what it is. Alright, so you would need something like Dragon Fodder. Or Raise the Alarm, right? So this makes it a 5. That makes this a 5, right? But it's not as good as Anti-Cognition, which was like one in a blue, counter target creature or planeswalker unless they pay 2. This is worse than that. Yeah, my bad. I misread it. This is like a 5. You probably don't want to play this. Yeah, this is a 5. There was a card that was 1 in a blue that was an enchant creature that says choose a creature in play, enchanted creature becomes a copy of that creature, right? That was a rare in the previous set, and that card was just like unplayable. So I think this card is better than that. Yeah, Metamorphic Alteration. Yeah. I think this card's better than that. But not by much, and not enough to make it playable. No, you're right. Okay. Yeah, I thought I could just like play it like if it was till end of turn, I thought I could just like I thought it was like I target your 5/5, I just like play 2 or 3 creatures and I get a bunch of 5/5s. That's not what it is. Yeah. Alright. As Reflections of Lijar enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Whenever you cast a creature of the chosen type, copy that spell. This is a lot. Is this better than the flag? The 5-mana flag? That was like, choose a creature type. Your creatures get +1/+1 of that type. Whenever you cast a card of that type, draw a card. What was that? Vanguard something? I forget what it is called. Vanguard's Banner, is that what it is? Vanguard's Banner was good. Is it Vanquish's Banner? Yeah, Vanquish's Banner. Creatures you control the chosen type get +1/+1. Whenever you cast a creature spell, the chosen type, draw a card. You think it... Okay, so Vanquish's Banner was like a borderline bomb in its set. Right? Borderline bomb. And that was the vampire set. Yeah, it had a ton of tribal support in that set. But the problem is, in this set, there is not a lot of tribal support. Not nearly as much as Ixalan. Ixalan had a ton. It had what? It had vampires, it had merfolk, it had... I don't remember the rest of them, but... pirates. And they were in a lot of... and dinos, right? There was... But yeah, this set is not even close to Ixalan level. If you play Reflections, you have to follow it up with the spell the next turn. So... I'm kind of off it. Hey, thanks for the rage, Tricks Familiar. I think I'm off it. Here's the thing. This has to hit 2 to make it worth it. 3 to make it a bomb, right? In my opinion. If it's 1, this is not good. 2, you're like, okay. Now we're cooking with gas. But here's the thing, right? It doesn't actually work with the giants. Am I correct? Like, it doesn't work with Bergstrider. Because Bergstrider is the 5-mana 4/4 that says if you played Snow, then if you played Snow, tap a creature and it doesn't untap. This doesn't work with that. Because the copy wasn't played with Snow. I wonder how many other cards in the set are like that. And how many of them are giants. Like, it doesn't work with this dude. Not that it would matter, but... I mean, what are you going to say? You're going to say Wizard? You're going to say Wizard or Giant, right? It's a Wizard or Giant card is what it seems. I don't know. I'm gonna put it as like a 3. It's either a 3 or a 7. Allrund, God of the Cosmos. Uh-oh. Allrund gets +1/+1 for each card in your hand and each foretold card you own in exile. Alright, so it's Sturmgeist. Okay. At the beginning of your end step, choose a card type, then reveal the top 2 cards of your library. Put all cards of the chosen type into your hand, and the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. This is a scary card, because that's a lot of deck damage. It is end of turn step, not upkeep. Oh no, you're right, it's the bottom of your library in any order. I thought it went to the graveyard. Oh, that's not deck damage at all. Oh. And you can choose Tribal. Yeah, you can just choose Tribal and have it just go in the bottom. Okay. Yeah, this card's great. Always play it, right? So I'm like, I don't know about 10, right? It's going to be a 5-mana 4/4 draw card. Maybe 5-mana 5/5 draw card. Well, it has a backside, though. Whenever Haka Whispering Raven deals combat damage to a player, return it to its owner's hand and... What? Deals combat damage to a player. It's mandatory to return it to its hand. Okay. This is a 9. Yeah, this is a 9. Yeah. It's not a 10, but it's a solid 9. Like, I think Cosmos Charger is like... And it's pretty close. It might be better than this. Cosmos Charger might be better than this. Cosmos Charger, I think, is a pretty solid 9. So... Yeah, you play the bird, you attack, and you scry 2, and then you put this on the bottom. Or you put this into your hand, you play it, and you know the top 2 cards of your deck, so you reveal them and put them in your hand, right? Assuming they share a type or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I get the joke. But a 2/3 is a pretty solid defender that has flying. And you can, like, when it's time, you can just smash. It's a 7? Nah, dude. Nah, man. Don't you do you think Phantom Monster is better than this? You can't name Snow. No, Snow is a subtype. Or subtype, super type, or whatever. Super type. Subtype is like Tronland, right? Yeah, and it's also like you can also just scry 2 and replay the bird. You know, if it's not turn 5. It's not embarrassing. Yeah, like, do we agree that Phantom Monster is a 4-mana 3/3 flyer or Foretell? Like, you agree it's a 9, or it's an 8, right? That's a solid 8 out of 10. That's a very solid card. And, like, this is better than that. Dude, this is a solid 9. I disagree with you. Moving on. All Runs Epiphany. 7 blue, create 2/1/1 bird. Okay. Create 2/1/1 blue bird creature tokens with flying. Oh, take an extra turn. Okay. No conditions. This reminds me of there was a rogue card that did this, right? There was a tribal rogue sorcery. It was a Notorious Throng, or whatever. What was it? That card was okay. It's a cantripping 6-mana pair 1/1 flyers draw a card, right? It's like, I mean, cantripping draw a card, same thing. 6 mana, worst case scenario, this is 6 mana 1/1 pair 1/1 flyers draw a card. I think this is a 7 or an 8. I think this is a 7 or 8. I mean, 7 or 8 means if you're playing blue, you're always going to play it, right? So, I think it's pretty unlikely we come up with a spot where we're blue and we don't play this. I mean, maybe there is. Maybe it's closer to a 7. Well, it's not free because you have to get the problem is you have to get the 6 mana, right? That's the downside. Its ceiling is win the game, right? So it's a pretty high ceiling. I think it's probably closer to a 7 than an 8, but we'll call it an 8 because the ceiling is so damn high. Like, this is way better than the Karn one, right? Which was 4 blue, like, legendary sorcery, bouncing on land, take an extra turn, right? This is way better than that. I'll go to extra turn effects. Yeah, Karn's Temporal Sundering. Yeah, this is way better than that. Yeah, target player takes an extra turn for this. We're going to turn him to 1 target online permanent, and then exile this. Yeah. Orvar, the All Form. Changeling. Okay, so call back to Mistform Ultimus. The OG Changeling. Alright. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if it targets one or more other... Okay. If it targets one or more other permanents you control, create a token that's a copy of one of those permanents. Whenever a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard this card, create a token that's a copy of... What? Whenever a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you... So your opponent mind rots you. Create a token that's a copy of target permanent. You, like, get a land. Okay. So that's trinket text. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if it targets one or more other permanents you control, so... Oh, it's other permanents. Okay, yeah, so you have like a 2/2 and Orvar. You like giant growth your 2/2 and you get a 2/2. Okay. It doesn't work off auras. It's only instant or sorceries. I know it says any permanent, but it's instant and sorceries only, so runes don't work. So what are we doing with this? Yeah, it's always like... Oh. But you have to target your own rune. I think you're thinking pretty small. If you're talking about the Disperse, the Foretell Disperse, and you're targeting your own rune, that's a pretty small game, friend. I mean, I'm all about you living a dream, but can't you live a bigger dream than that? Yeah, dispersing your saga. Now you're cooking with gas, right? You bounce your own saga on chapter 3. Isn't that a way better dream to live? You can go 3 mana saga, 4 mana Orvar, turn 5, disperse your saga with the 3rd ability on the stack. Yeah, +1/+3. I mean, yeah, giant growth your 2/2, make it get a 2/2, I guess. I mean, I got this is at least a 6, right? I think the floor is a 6. This is between a 6 and an 8, right? Like, if it's a 7, you always play it. Do you always play this card? I guess it's a changeling, and it has the potential to be amazing, right? All right, we can make it a 7. You're right. You're right. You think it's a 7 and protects itself? It does not protect itself. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if it targets one or more other permanents you control. So I can't just like giant growth this in response to a removal spell. That's not the way it works. It's not snow. We'll leave it at that. I think it's a solid 7. All right, what do we got on blue? So blue only has one truly unplayable common, and it has just a pile of draw 2s and draw 3s, which is really disheartening to see. It has this Glimpse the Cosmos, and it has this Rune of Flight, and it has Kasima, and it has Graven Lore, and it has... It's so disheartening. The blue... And I guess Inga Rune Eyes, that uncommon. This might be the best uncommon in the set. You want at least 5 snow mana sources for this card, to be clear. And you would be willing to play an off-color land. Like, if you're a blue-black deck and you have snow-covered plains, you'd be willing to play that. Or, like, a blue-white snow land that comes into play tapped, you would play that for this. So, I don't know if you would, in your blue-black deck, if you would splash, like, a red-green come into play tapped snow land. I'm not sure you would splash that. You probably would. But it just depends how many other snow payoffs you have. Would I play multiple pillars? I mean, if I had enough snowlands, you probably need 6 or 7, but yeah. I think there's some artifact mana in the deck in the format too, right? And doesn't green have some like search your library for lands that can find snowlands, right? So blue is a lot better than white. It's kind of embarrassing. Sealed is all about like drawing cards and being on curve and drawing your bombs, and blue does that always. It's so consistent. There's so many ways to draw cards. Yeah, I mean, blue has like Augury Raven. It has Behold the Multiverse, which makes your like snow cards even better because you're gonna get your snowlands with this Behold the Multiverse. Makes Berkshire better. Like this Brian Bear Run Tutor is obviously unplayable. You always play this. The card's gonna be probably great. I don't think you play this anymore now that we see more of the format. I don't think we actually want... This is not a main deck card. I don't think it is. The Stronger Thought Thief is like... It's kind of borderline. It's a role filler. You're not happy to play it. But I think the fact that it goes both ways... It can go Fate Seal or Surveil makes it... It's like... Barely a 6. Barely a 6. It's way better than Frostpeak Yeti. I think... Yeah, way better than that. I'm looking forward to playing with Mistwalker. This card seems pretty good. I love these types of cards. Unless you maximize your mana, unless you like lets you turn the corners so fast because it hits for 4 in the air if you need it to. Will Draugr see Dimir Road decks? No. If the card would cost 1, maybe. I want to make this a 5. It's not an embarrassing card, but Pilfering Hawk's can be pretty good if you have the right deck. Blue's a little bit worse than I thought. I like Disdainful Stroke or Draugr Thought Thief. I feel like they're going to compete as like your 23rd card. Like that's kind of their power level to me. So I think this is more likely to make your deck than Disdainful Stroke is. What is the best blue common? Probably Augury Raven or Behold the Multiverse. Probably probably the 2-mana 3/3 flyer, 4-mana 3/3 flyer. What I'd expect it to be. An already same CI? Well, it's the highest sideboard card, but it's strictly a sideboard card. Basically, disenchants in general are just like 5s. Yeah. Like it's the best sideboard card you could have. Like if you need a disenchant, it is there for you. Right? You're not gonna get much better than this. Because there's sagas in the set, right? So disenchants aren't actually gonna do it. It's like the best disenchant you could have. Because it actually counters sagas. When you need it, it's good. That's why it's a 5. But I mean, looking at my rating system, Behold the Multiverse is the best blue common, which is certainly not true. I think Augury Raven is the best blue common. Bergstrider is like Bergstrider is a total. Obviously, it's a 1 or an 8. I think. I put it as a 7 because that's what the average is going to be. But I'll just make it 1 out of 8, 1 or 8. I guess I could just call it. Well, I'll just call it an 8. I can just call it an 8 because obviously if you don't have at least 5 snow permanents, you're not going to play it anyways, right? I guess that's what a 7 is for. You're right. That's what a 7 is for. Because you can play it as with 2 to 4 snow permanents, and it's a 7. So whatever. No, you're right. Bind the monster. It's okay. I don't think there's no way this is the best blue common. There's no way, right? I mean, calling things the best common only matters for draft. We're in sealed. The best cards are the ones you open. So the reason for the ratings is trying to like compare power levels between different colors. Like on average, if you're gonna open 20 blue cards and 20 white cards, are you gonna be happier with your blue or your white? You're gonna be happier with your blue. So, all right, that's gonna be it for blue. Let's go on another color.